that Tinubu forced and dragged Buhari to a Paris arbitration court to explain what he did when he was in office. Although the federal government has denied this, but let's see the story first. People's Gazette said their sources revealed that Lateef Fagbemi, the Attorney General, flew into Daura, Katsina State to make it clear to Buhari that he must attend the arbitration court in Paris to testify. Buhari was reluctant before his visit, but eventually yielded and accepted to go and testify. And since Buhari left office, he's been to a few countries like the UK, so it was surprising when it was announced that he was going to France. And according to the report, he was grilled by the court on Saturday. They are going to grill him on Sunday before the court will make a decision next week. Now, to why Buhari testified in the arbitration court in Paris. It's still the long-running litigation between Sunrise Power and the Nigerian government. Sunrise Power was awarded the contract to construct the Mambila Power Project. Obasanjo, who was in charge at the time, claims that the contract award was illegal, that he didn't pass due process, he wasn't tendered at the Federal Executive Council, that it was just between them and the Minister of Power at the time. So many will be wondering, why is Buhari involved? He wasn't the one in power when Sunrise Power got the purported contract to build Mambila Power Project. The reason Buhari is involved is because many negotiations have been taking place all these years, and under Buhari's administration, he was supposed to release $200 million for this project, but he stopped that money from being released. So the parties were angered, including the promoter, one Adesonya, which made them to return back to court. Of course, that move made the EFCC to go after him. They declared him wanted. A lot of things happened. So it is expected that Buhari will tell the court why he refused to release $200 million to Sunrise Power and other parties. And it seems this money was meant as a settlement for the case. All their claims, all they are claiming to have lost in time, investment, money, everything, that if the government of Nigeria pays them $200 million, they will just go away. The court is expected to make a decision after his testimony. This is a grand scheme being run by Nigerians in collusion with foreigners. This is the result of not having patriotic individuals in power. These types can sabotage and betray the country just for their selfish interests. They don't care about national interest. All the claims this consortium are making, they must direct it to the rogue minister. According to Obasanjo, this project was never tabled at the Federal Executive Council. According to Nigerian law, all projects of this type, especially expensive as the Mambila Power Project running into billions of dollars, must be approved by the Federal Executive Council. Even the president alone cannot approve such a project. It must be tabled at the Federal Executive Council. The council is made up of all the ministers, the entire cabinet, and after they approve it, they will send it to the National Assembly to debate on it and approve the project before it can be executed and become a legal document. So the contract didn't pass through all these processes, and the rogue minister even went as far as forging documents to make it look real. So they should lay their claims on the minister, not the Nigerian government, because according to Nigerian law, this contract doesn't exist. It's not recognized by the Nigerian government. So the court should do the needful and send these people away for good. The case has been ongoing for up to 2 decades. They still want to extort Nigerians of a whopping $200 million for not doing anything whatsoever. Let's even assume that they spent money conducting environmental impact assessment on the project, spending money on design of the project, and even doing some excavation works. They should eat the cost because they were supposed to conduct due diligence. A massive project like the Mambila Power Project, at the last count they said it will cost about $5 billion to build. How come no executive member or even a board member of the consortium ever met with the president of Nigeria? A project of this magnitude, one person from the company must have at least sat with the president of Nigeria and maybe signed a memorandum of understanding with the president standing behind and the representative of the two parties sitting down to sign at least one document showing that they are actually interested in awarding the project to the company. So assuming They didn't know anything about it. They weren't aware that it was a fraudulent document that they were given in order to invite them to start work on Mabila Power Project. It's still their fault that they failed to conduct due diligence to at least try to find out the documents they were given, whether they were authorized by the Nigerian government or not. It's time to put the house in order. It's so demeaning and condescending that a sovereign country like Nigeria will be subjected to the jurisdiction of another sovereign country in faraway Europe. All these are because we have criminally minded people in power. All their interests are to steal and not to develop this country. And we can never develop without developing a homegrown construction industry. We can never develop while relying on foreigners to be handling construction projects for Nigeria. It doesn't make any sense. How long are we going to continue relying on foreigners to do this for us? All countries that transitioned from developing country to developed country, all of them do the construction by themselves. They never award them to foreign countries to come and build for them. It's understandable that we might award contracts to foreign companies who have expertise in projects like underground train systems or other technology-intensive projects. But it doesn't make any sense to continue awarding road projects to foreign companies. Ordinary road, dual carriageway, triple carriageway, why can't a Nigerian company build it? What about a bridge, an apartment complex or office complex? All these are handled by foreigners in Nigeria. This has to stop. This is why they keep taking advantage of Nigeria. Imagine dragging a sovereign country to another sovereign country's court. If you don't feel ashamed as a Nigerian, then something is wrong. Nigerian universities churn out thousands of engineers every year. Why is the Nigerian government not building a platform to give them the right education they need in order to be able to handle all these massive projects they award to foreigners? Nigerian leaders need to understand what patriotism means. Even if a Nigerian company has the expertise in a particular field, countries like China and many European countries will never award the project to the Nigerian company simply because of patriotism. They rather try to build it by themselves, and if they fail, they might go as far as using espionage to steal the design of this project in order to be able to do it by themselves. This is what is called patriotism. You have to be proud of your own people. You have to be proud of your own country. In 2025, you cannot be awarding road projects and bridges to foreign companies, even if they are employing Nigerians. No, there should be a homegrown solution. A Nigerian specialist might not be able to get all the permits he needs to float a construction company in a foreign country. Even if he succeeds, he may never get a contract from the government. So why do we do this to ourselves? After more than 60 years of independence, we still rely on foreigners to build sensitive projects for us in Nigeria. Foreigners construct airports for Nigeria. They construct many sensitive projects, government buildings. Even H0t was constructed by a foreign company. State governments are not left out of this. They need to start awarding all their projects to Nigerian-owned companies. They can even set up construction companies and invite the public to take up shares in the company. The regions did it in the First Republic. Eastern region had NCFC at the time. So they need to start engaging Nigerian professionals in all projects they plan to build. All projects must have time limits. If a contractor fails to deliver under that time, he's supposed to pay a fine. This is what happens in many foreign countries. So they need to start taking these jobs seriously. Make sure they release payments as at when due, so that the contractor will not have any reason for not delivering on the job on time. And don't talk about Nigerian professionals not knowing the job. No, it is the job of the government to make sure that they receive the kind of training they need in order to become world-class professionals in their fields. Fresh graduates can be sent abroad to acquire more knowledge to contribute to the development of the construction industry in Nigeria. The government can even fund universities better so as to research and set up labs to develop our construction industry to better suit our climate. Yes, if you look at the type of buildings being built in Nigeria of today, you will think that we are a European country. Compare that to the buildings of the 80s, 70s, even the 90s. So the government needs to change course. They need to start looking inwards, not outwards. Yes, most of these countries give Nigeria loans. So because of that, they get that favor. Nigerian government awards them contracts. No, it has to stop.